Hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time. G Channel's back, and I'm here with a very special guest, my brother, Good Guys and Greg, here over here. He's gonna help me out with this Mortal Kombat review.
Hey, what's going on, guys and galgins? This is Good Guys and Greg. And yeah, so we have both seen the movie twice at this point.
Basically.
And we kind of have thoughts about it. And I don't know, for me, it's less about the movie and more about the people watching the movie. Like
By
when
now,
it comes to the movie,
sure.
like when it comes to the movie, I'm fine with it. But when it comes to everyone, like, in the Facebook feeds, reviewers, YouTubers, apparently everybody is, a professional movie critic. And, well, we can get into that. But
All right. So, of
this
course,
is
if
your
anybody's
thing.
wondering, we're talking about Mortal Kombat, the 2021 version, and it just released HBO Max. And honestly, I guess we can start off with. I just want to hear your full on just synopsis, whatever you thought about it, whatever you just blast thoughts.
It was fun. It was fun. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be like the trailers made it look a lot more, intense than it was. But it was a fun movie. There were some hiccups. It definitely felt like certain scenes were either not finished or cut strangely. There was a lot of just like technical issues with it where I was just like, okay, that cut was weird. Okay, Liu Kang and Kung Lao are backing up, and at first they're back to back, and then they're like 5 feet apart, and then they're back to back again, 5 feet apart, back again in the same like scene.
Teleporting without teleporting.
Yeah, and like it definitely didn't have. I felt like the movie took itself a little bit too seriously. I feel like if it had a little bit more cheese to it, that the movie probably would have gone over a bit better with people.
You wanted more cheese.
I just like
I
the
felt it
right
was a
kind
good
of
amount of
cheese. The right kind of cheese.
All right.
Like,
all right.
And like I liked most of the characters. Some characters were a bit bland, Cole being, the main one. I feel like we needed more of Raiden. Raiden, dipped his toe into being a lot more interesting of a character, but he just wasn't in the movie enough.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung, he just wasn't in the movie enough. And then like he just rolled out a few. And I saw some people complaining about like Raiko, and I can't remember the vampire chick's name.
Yeah.
Dang. But like,
yeah.
But like people complaining about them, and I'm like, they're just jobbers, dude. No one cares about them. They're in one game. They're in one game, and no one remembers them. No one cares about those characters. Stop making it sound like, oh, they messed up my favorite characters. No one cares about those characters. Shut up.
I literally had someone talk about the back chick. Like literally, oh yeah, no. I was like, dude, what? Like, isn't she like one game? And she was like, I mean, yeah, but I still like her. I'm like, dude. Like, I guess, but even
nobody cares. Get out of here. She's like a fan favorite. No, she isn't. No, she isn't. You don't care about her. You cared about her boobies. That was about it.
I mean, what? I mean,
And I barely remembered Raiko. Barely remembered him. So I'm like when I first saw like the still images, I'm like, is that like a young Shao Kahn? He's got like the big hammer. Is that like young Shao Kahn or something? And they're like, oh, that's right. I'm like, oh, that's Raiko? Oh.
and I guess is that everything you felt about the movie, right? Like in terms of just a black, I can get into what I feel a little bit because I'm like that kind of can go into how I went about it.
Like fighting was good, I felt like it wasn't mind blowing. It wasn't, the raid or anything. But, for what it was good. It was better than, Resident Evil fight scenes. It wasn't like quick cuts and, bull crap of height and people can't fight kind of stuff.
Right.
The story was fine. You know, I feel like we didn't necessarily need Cole, but I also felt like he didn't hurt the movie very much. Yeah, like I thought the characters were very true to who they are in the games. And I thought everyone did a good job. I definitely, and yeah, I just enjoyed the movie. It was an enjoyable movie. I mean, I watched it twice, and the second time it was just as good as the first one. It didn't get better. It didn't get worse. It was just still a fun time. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you know me, man. I like video games well, but I look at it in terms of a movie. And I although I do say it was pretty enjoyable, especially the first time watching it. Like I watched it, like I'm saying some places, I'm laughing at Kano. I was doing a lot of good stuff. I was everything was
Kano seems to be the one common thing that everyone loves.
Yeah, you know, the first time
is Kano.
But
like one scene in particular always gets me when like
go ahead with Kano. Go ahead.
Yeah, like when Cole asks Sonya like, where's your tattoo? She's like, I don't have one. And you just like barely hear Kano in the background. Wah wah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's one of those things like he's a very enjoyable piece of what you need to like have in there. And that's one of the things where like I guess that's what I wanted out of the movie, as well as a lot of different things where I didn't see in the movie. Where that first 7 minutes really led you to believe that you were going to see something like, oh man, we're about to get into it, kind of stuff. Where it's like, oh man, so this movie kind of suffers from the nowadays symptoms, where this is kind of like you watch this and I'm like, there's gonna be a sequel. There's gonna be like an extended kind of universe kind of feel thing to it, where you know it's not a full on movie.
A setup movie.
It's not one. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't live on its own kind of thing, like as well as it really would. We would like it to do, because just like I said, I just watched '95 Mortal Kombat. I'm like, it holds up. And I think they really did it because they felt like it was hold up, and Annihilation shows that they weren't thinking. They weren't thinking that was gonna happen, but but anyway. Yeah, this is like obviously they got pieces going on into the next one. Like, you know, that's what it feels like, at least watching this. Oh, this Cole guy. That's another thing where there's like, we have to combination, we have to, basically connect with the people who play Mortal Kombat as kids and stuff like that. They got families now, and woo, and he's the descendant of Scorpion. Scorpion's like the mascot of Mortal Kombat, essentially. So I'm over here like it's got like a lot of like, okay, guys, you guys got this, from the south side of Chicago, little midway games, shout outs type of stuff like that. I'm like, all right, guys, I see what they're doing, but it's just like you said, it's just totally necessary.
Yeah.
This is it's so much lore in Mortal Kombat. You really don't need these. It's like the human element in Transformers. You're like, why are we talking to the humans? There's so much Autobot stuff we could be talking about, whatever. So like the same exact thing is happening here with Mortal Kombat. We're like, all right, no. We could be talking about Quan Chi. We could be going over here. And he said like, yeah, Shang Tsung, grossly underused, and talk about everybody who loves. Tell you about what and what. The original, I gotta say, is a little bit edging out because that Shang Tsung, man.
Well, like
there's too many quotables.
In that movie, there's too many quotables. And this Shang Tsung is completely forgettable when it comes to anything he says.
Let me finish my full on because this the way this thing is shot as well. It's almost in this. People consider it cheap. It's studio. It's COVID. Shot. I understand. But like. The original is done with film and it's done with practical, a lot of practicality and stuff like that. Even though the CGI in there is like I was a crazy Kukinati CGI, like that's just like it's just wild and crazy kids. You see Reptile going all wild. So like this Reptile looks better, but is our Reptile fight better than the Reptile fight in '95?
I remember we used to rewind that fight over. And over.
That fight, and over. I watched it today, and it's dun, 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 and I'm over here like, yeah, baby. So I'm like, I'm nowhere near jazzed up watching Reptile.
And like part of that is, we were kids at the time,
No,
and
at
well,
the
no,
time,
like I'm
no,
not
no, no,
saying
'cause I
like
grew
you
over and
still
I try
can't
to
get
give it
hype.
the same. I give it the same type of. I give movies the same kind of thing every time, every same kind of gusto every time, because there's a certain way and a certain way they were cutting the scenes, cutting these action scenes. You have to realize they were doing a good job editing. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, no,
No,
no, no.
I'm not
I
tearing
was
it
things I
down for
wasn't
that.
noticing at 5. I'm noticing at 31. Oh man, that's cool. Like they were going all the way through. That's all the way through here. They showed the movement. Yeah, some of it is definitely hokey in certain parts and stylistically at that time. It fits
Yeah.
the time period, but ultimately, how it all comes together as it cuts in as a movie, yes, some of that is some crazy Club Kid 1995 music video. Was it what you call it? Close up all the way up on a stone face, random and all the stuff in Outworld, and guys running down the street randomly, kind of like crackheads in the night. You're like, what's going on? But that was the style at the time. Now we don't need all that. Now we can just show Outworld as a huge, vast, barren area and stuff like that. And I get that. And I like that. I like that particular look of it. But it's one of the things where we're losing something in this like translation here where the spirit even in a 1995 PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie still kind of got it right.
Yeah. And like
we got
when it comes to like that kind of
Raiden's better in the old one too.
Well, yeah, I think that's just he has that charm.
Yeah, exactly.
He has that charm.
That's
and like I feel like the new one could have gotten into that more, but they, like I said, he wasn't in the movie basically. He like popped up and was just like said a couple lines and then disappeared.
Well, with all that said, this was way more under the original kind of Mortal Kombat, mythos that you would kind of know to love if you play a lot of video games, and that's why I kind of got enjoyed it because the first one was way more Liu Kang focused, all this other stuff like that. Like Liu Kang, we love him to death, but he's not really the main dude all the way like
and like
he's a part of a character.
And like I don't mind Shang Tsung not being in the movie as much because, like we said, they're building. This is the kickoff movie for the next few ones, and you don't want Shang Tsung losing right away. So he might lose in this next one, and then the last one they got to take on Shao Kahn. But like Sub-Zero was the main villain in this, and that's who they had to take down. And if they do to Shang Tsung what they did with Sub-Zero, then they introduced him in this one. They built him up a little bit, and then in the next one they can make him the same kind of force that Sub-Zero was in this one. Because Sub-Zero in the original, that fight was I've always been disappointed with that fight. That fight was always weak to me.
It was okay, but it was one of the things where it wasn't a thing where how good Scorpion and Johnny Cage's fight was in that movie.
Right. That was the memorable fight when it comes to the blue and orange. Sub-Zero like, oh man, I could win this, but I'm staying in one spot and just slowly making an ice shield.
This boy, he went out like he was
went out like a punk.
Real quick, Scorpion was stomping the absolute dog crap out of Johnny Cage. He was but the one we just shows us his head down to the ground. Like, Charlie Murphy. It's just like the dropping to the face.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You see that? It's just like, Johnny, no, get out of there, baby.
Guard your head, man. Guard your head.
Clench.
Turn up.
You gotta do something.
But like you people, and like I've seen people upset that like this Sub-Zero is so evil, and I'm like, it's Bi-Han, dude.
Yeah.
Go back. Like that's the story. Is that Bi-Han was the evil one. Like current Sub-Zero is the good one, but and like some people are like they made him too OP, and I'm like, do you forget he's Sub-Zero. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be OP. It's like Sub-Zero, that he's the pinnacle of the Lin Kuei.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people forget, but Mortal Kombat Mythologies, if you play that game, he took out so many people in that game. And it's like, dude, Sub-Zero is a beast. And I'm glad that they actually made him a full-on threat in this, as opposed to just, I'm going to stand in one spot and make a shield and die like a punk.
Yeah, or be under like Shang Tsung's, possession or whatever. That was, I know that was cool to have Scorpion and Sub-Zero right next to each other and be able to display them off like that, like toys and action figures, because they're trying to sell toys and action figures. But it was the thing where, that was lame. That's not the story. Even as a kid, we were all doing like, they don't like.
Wait a minute. Like, why are they working together? They hate each other.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero, fiercest of enemies. They followed my power. I'm like, man, get out of here. You ain't that cool. You know what I'm saying? They would have got out of that. I was a kid. They would have got out of that. I'd have froze up out of it. I did something. Like, bro. Yeah, but there's a lot of different key differences. But in here, it seems to be on the line of what we traditionally know, and that's where I'm excited. I want to see where this goes, and that's what happens. I want to see where it goes. And the other one, I know where it goes. Sad. It's just I can't do nothing about it. That's the past. Annihilation. Annihilated my heart.
And then, like, you have some people saying that Annihilation is better than this one. And I'm like, you in your feelings. You are in your feelings. You need to sit down, take a drink, take a smoke, take a walk, something.
Do it.
And really sit down and think about what you just said.
More Kombat Annihilation.
It's like there's nothing.
No redeemable.
It's like, did you like all the characters from the first one?
Liu Kang back. I was talking about this the other day with the person who liked it, and I was like, "Oh man, it's unfortunate." Like I was talking about the only reason why it's good in certain regards is so many characters that you get to see in there. Like it's cool in regard to see, oh man, that character's in there. Like, well, you gotta sit down. You got Baraka, you got Woo in there, but like, not like
I hated that because it was 100% like, oh, you remember Baraka? Here he is, gone. You remember Nightwolf? Here he is, gone. You remember Sub-Zero? Here he is, gone. And I'm like, well, are we gonna see? No.
It was the sheer novelty factor of it. Even as a kid, I knew that. I was like, oh man, like I guess everybody was in there. So it was a hour and 40-minute movie. Even at the end of the day, I knew like there's only so much you're gonna do. But like Cyrax and Jax fought,
that was weak.
I like Jackson. In Annihilation, that was hilarious because he was funny in that. He was like a for real black dude that got metal arms. Like he was like, he was like, yeah. This one over here. I was like, what is this? What is this? Okay, that's another thing about this Arcana business. I don't know if I like it. I don't think I like this Arcana thing. I don't know if I like it.
I don't mind it. It's a reason why they have powers, and it's a story progression thing. It's a plot device.
Get it, but that's another thing where like they kind of like mess around with the mythology. Where you could have just had Sonya get some tech and some gear, like like just.
I feel like that's weaker.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna just come from the because it's organic. I don't know, but then we're okay with Spider-Man getting not getting natural web shooters. It's a weird kind of situation where it's like you want to go like actual true to the source material, or do you want to just be messing around? Because like, what's Stryker gonna do if he comes up here?
He gonna have a gun.
And then what's something, man?
All they gotta do is be like, okay, this is Stryker. He's like Sonya before. He's not a chosen one. He's just a part of the group. Sonya still contributed before she got her chosen one mark. So Stryker could just be another guy who assists, but he isn't a chosen one.
He'll just never be chosen. He's just gonna be a cop.
Never be chosen. You
already
you and I don't think that they're gonna put Stryker and Johnny Cage
have
in
enough
it.
power. You're a cop, Stryker. That's what they gonna say in the movie. You got enough power. What are you talking about? It's terrible.
They gonna make him a jobber. And like another thing that I appreciated was like I felt like there was more danger in this one than in the originals. Like, sure, they killed off Johnny Cage in the second movie, but it didn't feel anything really. Like, it was upsetting because he was such a major part of the first one, but it wasn't like I don't know, like you just kind of forgot it after the initial like thing.
Well, Kano helped. Kano really helped all that because that's all it was for me. You know how much I love Johnny Cage, and there's some things where I'm like, you know, like literally, no. Watching it, I supplied at the last little bit. You know, that was a teaser. That's why I thought in the first bit of the movie, I was like, oh man, they got like a Johnny Cage poster on the side there, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be in the next movie, and like, that could be, I guess, another reason why people, oh, it's kind of bad because that's not really a good like teaser if that's a thing. But anyway, that's beside the point. His presence was missed, but I like that he's gonna come later because now it's gonna be funny because everybody's gonna be really all into it. Dude, yeah, he's gonna be for real. He's gonna be for real, Johnny Cage. Where you're gonna be like, this dude for real not taking it seriously, like.
Yeah, you know? And like at this point, because they're bringing in a new character, they can like kind of phase Cole out a bit more.
Yeah.
So like if people like they tried to introduce a new character, and you know from the sound of it, he didn't take off. So now because they're introducing Johnny Cage, they could actually just be like, okay, well now he's the new main character for this movie. This is still a continuation, but now Cole can take a back seat. Maybe they kill him off because they're clear. They're not afraid to kill off main characters because technically Kano was the main character. Like, yeah, he did the heel change towards the end, but for the whole movie, he was with the main group. And so they killed off Kano and they killed off Kung Lao. So they could kill off Cole.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it, like,
or just say he doesn't want to fight anymore. He wants to, you know, stay with his family.
Yeah, be with his family.
So they have plenty of ways to remove him in the next movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, they tried it, and I thought it was pretty cool in certain regards because they, you know, like I said, he's the everyman, you know, the connection to the guy in the audience character.
Yeah, player character,
yeah. Exactly, player character dude. He's, you know, MMA. You know, that's the closest thing to Mortal Kombat we got, like, in real life that we could legally do. You know, like, there's all types of stuff right there. I'm like, all right, I see what they're doing. Oh, man, yeah, dude, we're gonna watch, I'm gonna sit here and do it, you know. Like, that's why it's made like this, because it's initially in the pre-COVID world, it was meant for butts to be in the seats like this and just be there. Oh, guys, I do this too. Let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings after this. You know, nothing wrong with none of that, but it's just that's definitely, you know, that intention there with Cole here. Where I was just like, okay, and I think a lot of people called that out. They're like, we didn't need all that. Like, we really just could. Like I said, we have so many other characters. We have so many other things we could be doing. I mean, y'all introduced Kung Lao here, and he looked like he just popped straight out the video game, which I was happy with. I was like, yeah,
personality-wise. His moves and everything, the way he looked, he was on point. That was Kung Lao. And then they killed him. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
I was like, there you go. He got the hat, baby. Like, coming in. So,
and I love Kano's burn on. He's like, you know, you can get, you know, fire powers or something or some shit like frisbee hat. It's like, oh.
You call that man Kung Pao. I was cracking up. Like he's at the dinner, he's like, "Oh, Kung Pao." I'm like, this man is just the worst. Like, just calling this man out. And I love that Kano got his stuff first and just call just been an all around dick.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing about it. Where you're like, okay, excuse me, this guy. Yeah, no, everything about it was amazing. We was like, okay, that's a good little banter here. Okay, but at the same time, you're not seeing the way it's shot, the music. I'm gonna say that about it. The music in this one is very much so inferior. It's not that good. It's not that good. I will say,
Half the
like,
time I forget it's there.
yeah, it's just something in the background. I really noticed that, even though they kind of cheated by putting the theme, the amazing, theme in there like 4 times. Like
There's a lot of times where it's do.
Yeah. Other parts of it, like Juno Reactor for Reptile, or like Johnny Cage and Scorpion's fight, or what was the fight with the first fight with the Machine and Liu Kang.
Oh, Hakeem the Machine.
Hakeem the Machine.
MSC
Ain't gonna forget about you, baby. Yeah, we ain't gonna forget about you. Hey, man. Yeah, that was the first soul that got sucked out there. Bro, that was the worst thing out there. When Cabal said that, he's about to get his soul sucked. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, my.
Whoa, they're doing this. And I was like,
insert the Pornhub thing.
Breath. I was just like, okay, cool. That's what we're gonna have. And Liu Kang, oh no, like over here, no, baby, never coming back to you. Yeah, and I kind of rewatched it, and I kind of see what you were saying over the phone a while ago. When he was like, oh, he's a little bit, he's a little bit, he's a little caring, he's a little bit.
Yeah, like I was watching, I'm like, you say cousin, you say brother.
Sure.
You sure you don't need nothing more? Like, don't even Katana ain't here. Katana ain't here.
Her fan here.
A fan here. But I don't care. I don't care if they, did that, but it did feel like
his story back when he was, little dudes who was like doing stuff to like guys, like little orphans and stuff like that, like himself. And I'm like, y'all trying to say Liu Kang got touched?
I'm like, this is sounding really berserk right now.
All right,
he's telling the story, and I'm sitting here thinking of like Guts and Griffith and stuff that happened to them when they were, orphan children. And I'm just like,
but that at least was a well plotted out storyline that like actually had consequences and like ramifications and full on thing. This is kind of shoehorned in. We know the lore of Mortal Kombat. How many times has this happened? And with Liu Kang.
Well, I don't know, because like I tried to do like a little bit of research on like the backstories of like Liu Kang and stuff, and I haven't seen anything about before he was a monk. So this sounds like it was something that was made just for the movie.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It felt shoehorned in because it was shoehorned in, and it's something that's something so to the source material. Y'all just kind of did that, like I said, with Cole and certain other things in there. Like I said, it suffers from this 2021 movie-itis, in certain regards, where it's like can't live on its own. It's not a whole complete thought. Like you got to wait to the next one to see certain things. They got to satisfy these people, that this demographic or that demographic, people with families. The kids. They say we got connection. And so, and all of them were rated R Mortal Kombat. And we could have made this real simple.
Like they definitely could have taken out Cole. Like you said, there's plenty of other characters. It didn't have to be Liu Kang for the main character again.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been, someone else. Or we could like we could have just skipped ahead and just got to Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage could have been the introduction character since they're going to be introducing him in the next one anyway.
One thing I was thinking maybe of Jeremy Johns or something like that. He was talking about like the Jax and Sonya being the ones to kind of be like, oh yeah, we know this whole thing about the tournament. Woo. I'm like, it is kind of like off-putting. Like they were the ones first. Like not Liu Kang, not Raiden, not like nobody. I was like,
well, technically, Liu Kang and Raiden were already in it. They just hadn't run into Sonya and Jax yet. They were just.
I'm talking about
on our side of things.
Because essentially Cole is our character man. And that's what I'm saying. Jax is the one who found him. That's what I'm saying. Like Jax is the guy who gets him. Not like it should have been Raiden or Liu Kang or something like that. And that'll fed right into the fantasy thing of it all. But I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Because I'm like, yeah, they should be the ones to kind of question a little bit of this world because they're the technical, like military people a little bit. Like it would be a little like they won't have to make it so obvious, but it'll be a thing where okay, what, like, you know,
and like what they could have did was they could have skipped Cole, and our introductory to the world could have been Sonya and Jax, and they could have shown the scene that they were talking about where they were chasing Kano. Kano killed one of the guys, and then the mark got on him. And that could have been our introductory scene into Mortal Kombat. And then they'd be like, okay, because now they are in their regular world. They're just trying to go after they were trying to go after this one guy.
Right.
And then Kano comes and they like get the guy. Kano comes, kills him. Mark transfers to him. And then they also need to start finding out about the marks and stuff, and then they find out Kano knows where.
Honestly, you know what makes it the most? You know what makes all this the most like jarring is honestly. I'm watching it on the screen here, just in the background, just chilling. Is the last scene when they're fighting? You want to see Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and this other guy fighting. Though it's just like. All right, y'all. Like it's it's kind of jarring.
It's like 101.5.
Right. And I got my family, and I'm knocking through the ice, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool. But this long life, like there was 16 something, 16, 17 feud,
Yeah.
Was going on.
This dude killed his whole clan.
Because they brought back
Scorpion and I'm here too.
They brought back Scorpion anyway. The whole thing about it is like, yes, like he is here. I know they did it like in the sense of the actor who's like the actor who's playing Scorpion is like 59 years old. So like they had to only use him here and there. Like he's okay, this scene and that scene. So like, aside from Scorpion, Sub-Zero. That's why Sub-Zero's so gangster, I think.
Yeah.
He's like the young dude doing all these other stuff. So, but aside from that, they could have still written it a certain way to just have Sub-Zero, Scorpion be like that, fighting Sub-Zero. But I don't know. They just had to have this guy. They had to have their man Cole.
Yeah, because like you don't care about him. Like he's a bland character. He isn't fun. He doesn't contribute anything like dialogue wise. He's just there to say, my family, my family, my family. And I'm like, nobody cares. Your family sucks.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where in movies, especially movies about properties that we like, and movies, video games, comic books, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always ask certain questions like, what would I be wanting to do right now with this movie? Like, what do I want to see? Are we wasting time doing X, Y, Z? Case in point, Spider-Man 3 when they're making an omelet. I'm like, I don't care. Why are we making omelets in Spider-Man 3 with Venom and Green Goblin and all this other stuff on loose? We could be shooting another scene that could be way more informative, way more awesome. Or like, even if you have to have these characters here, way better than this. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
It's like, I get you're trying to, be like, oh, they're getting closer together, or maybe she's gonna cheat on Peter doing a twist, making omelets.
no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cared. So like, that's the same thing with this whole thing with his family. He kept going. The only thing that was cool was when she goes back and he did the Michael Myers Sub-Zero, walk back, through the window and stuff.
There was a couple good scenes like that. Like I enjoyed the beginning part when it started snowing and it was all whimsical and like, it's the first. It's like, oh, it's so nice. It's July. It's like, oh.
Oh, that was cool when he came down the block and he just over here just like, yeah, I'm
It's just like, oh.
that's great. Like I was looking at like this is what I want to see. Like, stuff like that. Yeah, that's what you want to see.
I just want to gush on Sub-Zero for a minute. I just want to gush on Sub-Zero for a
Go
minute.
ahead.
Sub-Zero was so freaking awesome in here. Like, he was terrifying. He was like a wraith. He was just this haunting freaking cloud over the whole movie. And he just would show up and he'd be like, oh, things are going really good for you, aren't they? Not if I'm here. Give me this. It's like, oh, freaking what?
This man Jack talking about 6'2", 6'2". Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, 6'2". All right, baby. All right, 6'2".
6'2" is more.
Where my arms at? I ain't got no arms no more. Like he was
Raiden, like, I'm gonna go ahead and teleport everybody out here. Stop them, Sub-Zero. All right. Boop.
Yep.
That's all it took. Or like that one part when before Jax was about to fight him, and he like comes over with the gun, and Sub-Zero just goes in, and all the ice smoke just.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that was cold. That was cold.
Yeah. Yeah, all the mist.
And every time he goes into a building, and like I just imagine him like decorating before people show up. Like it's assumed that him walking through is making all the ice, but I'd like to think Sub-Zero is just like, okay, maybe like a nice chandelier here.
His fighting movement for me was where it got me. It was just like he was almost like taking things out of, like he was actually like terraforming, like getting the mist out, the moisture out of the air, kind of thing. Just like
very very waterbender.
I was like, oh, wait, like the way he's moving. Oh no, like honestly,
and I like that he used his ice for stuff other than like ice balls and stuff. Like he would turn his hands to ice, and like when he scratched Jax's shoulder, I like that part where he just like froze it just a little bit and then like scratched it down to like mess him up. Yeah. Or like when you grab people and start freezing them from the throat and then like hit them through the throat.
Yep. He's, of course, he froze, Scorpion's blood and stabbed it with him. Stabbed him with it.
Yeah. I love that scene. The callback scene where Scorpion tries to like hit him in the head with the spear, and the second time when they meet at the end of the movie, he does it again and he dodges it, and then the chain's here, and he's just like,
there's a really cool thing, man.
Like he just puts his face on the like, can you cut me again? And he grabs the chain before it cuts him. It's like, oh my god, that was too tight. So nice, yeah, like I love that scene. Just Sub-Zero is just so good in there. Even though he kind of turns into a punk during that fight at the end. Like after like Cole and Scorpion start teaming up on him, and he's got like this bug eye, just like they're hurting me. And I'm just like,
that's direction. That's a direction. But like one thing about that, this new one. My complaint about it again is if you're talking about Sub-Zero, they stated certain things very plainly, very obviously, very I am not behind no more. I am Sub-Zero. It's like, dude, you probably been calling yourself Sub-Zero for the last 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
No, today he changed his ID card over.
he's like,
It's legal now.
he's like, do I have to tell you again?
I just got back from the DMV.
We're gonna hear this again, Sub-Zero. So like, same thing with Scorpion. He just like, so just in case, I'm about to kill you and all, but like just in case, Scorpion now. All right.
That card is made out.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Jax was pretty straight in terms of being a Jax.
Yeah. I mean, Jax is such a meh character that like every iteration of Jax has always just been like, and Jax is here.
I just need a gotcha.
Yeah. He's still
I want a gotcha grab.
I just need him to turn into a giant and step on his enemies.
I just need them to notice at what level they're on and actually use the level fatality. Because they literally could have just you have Jax uppercut the dude into the spikes below. It's a rated R Mortal Kombat movie. Come on,
I hope
baby.
they do that for the next one. Like, I know Sub-Zero is going to be Noob Saibot, but they might introduce his brother.
Man,
he could have done that at some point. He could have done the ice from the ceiling and like the Mortal Kombat. You good?
Yeah, that's just a little bit dark.
Okay.
It's darker. That's great.
It's darker. You just a scary face.
Now I'm Sub-Zero.
Super creepy looking.
Now I don't want to work. That's hilarious. This thing, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, like, they can he almost could have did with Scorpion, where he like made the ice thing and like threw him into it. He could have did some stuff like that. They could have brought some ice from the ceiling and uppercutted someone into it, or like made it on the ground and slam them into it.
Yeah. You got an ice clone in there, which was pretty good.
That was dope. I was happy that they did that.
Yeah. The guy was arguing. They didn't even have like ice clone in it. I'm like, what are you talking? There wasn't ice clone in it. You weren't even watching it. And I was like, got away. Got away. You ain't talking that. Man, they gotta have some crazy
stuff. That was dope.
Like
I kind of wish that he did the slide. Did he do the slide? I don't remember him doing the slide.
Like, not really.
Mm.
But that's fine. That we can just say, oh yeah, it was a slide.
Yeah, there wasn't like a definitive moment. But let's see who else. We already said Kano and Kung Lao are good. Sonya, I feel like she's like the best Sonya we've had so far. Just because like Sonya is like Jax for me. It's just like, and then we have Sonya. I'm like, all right. I'm glad she's here, I guess. It would feel odd if she wasn't here, but I don't care that she is here.
I mean, here's the thing. I like Sonya and Jax enough in terms of their camaraderie. And you know how much I like, the camaraderie, how it wasn't there in the first one. If you're gonna say, hey, Sonya, don't go on that boat. Hey, Sonya. All right. Like, I'm like, ain't that your partner? Ain't that your person? Ain't your people's? As a little kid, I was like, dang, he did her. Hey, Sonya.
Try and that.
So sad. So sad. I'm like, bro, he's just okay. So like, they're actually riding for each other. You actually see a lot more of that. Like they just, oh man, Jax did not check in. What's going on? XYZ. And so that's
like they were actually friends in this.
Yeah, that you can tell it was a bit more of all that. So
I think I just don't care about them because they're so plain characters. It's like we have, martial artists, Fireball. We got like all these martial artists and monsters and stuff like that. And they're like, I'm a soldier. I'm like, I guess.
But that's the kind. But I always thought that was the kind of Batman element where like that made him hard. Like you go, you gonna sign up for this? Yeah, the Marines wasn't enough. I had to go to Mortal Kombat. All right, what's your name? Jax. You got metal? Yeah, I metal arms. Okay. Like so, you know, just the realest of the real. Be all you can be in the army. Like seriously, you see it like, oh, that's him. So same thing with Giles. I think like you just that real, huh? You fighting electric dudes in Brazil. Yeah, look at me. Look at my hair. I'm like, okay. It's like, you know, that's all I can say about like, yeah, you see him as playing. I see him as just like, look, that's hard.
The hardest, the realest of the real.
Yeah, the hardest dude you gonna find out. The hardest chick you gonna find. That's so.
I feel like that we got that with Johnny Cage. I feel like we got that with Johnny Cage though, because he was just like, people think my fighting is fake. I'm gonna go to another island and fight monsters.
No,
tell me that's fake.
No. He's a movie star. He only is so much. Only so many people are gonna be that. The actual people, the everyday people, more relatable people, are people who could be in the military, and that's why, like, yeah, like Sonya Blade and Jack, that makes a sense. That makes a lot more sense, honestly. When it's like these dudes, especially like the way they keep throwing it in, where they're chasing Kano up the way, and Kano's always roped in it.
It's always they chasing Kano.
They always get. They never get. At least they had Kano this time. I can at least say they had him. That she had him in custody this time. I was like, man, it is always like, yeah, we got to track on Kano. Got to get Kano. Kano came up out of school. Anybody pick up Kano? Like, no one came to get Kano. Like, bro.
Kano's sitting at the park.
Shucks. Like, you know, that's the thing about it. Like, yeah, I don't, I like how they kind of progressed in certain regards, but it's just only so much. The one property I want to bring up, aside from all the movies, aside from the video games, is the web series Mortal Kombat Legacy, I do believe. You ever watch it?
I've seen stuff on it. I know, like, at first it was supposed to be like a more realistic thing, and then they started adding in the more mystical stuff. And then from the sound of it, like parts of it were cool, but it kind of got crap.
I want you to check it out because especially now that they're doing this this movie series, and it seems to be more, you know, university episodic type of way. You know, they covered a lot of ground, and they even covered the Scorpion Sub-Zero thing back then. And that's part of the reason and it's honestly comparable. Like even now that I watched this movie and I watched, you know, Mortal Kombat Legacy. It's very comparable, even back then, how they went about it. They go all the way into the Cyber Sub-Zero series and all that.
Cyber
man. So, like, yeah,
I did see that one scene of how Scorpion got his catchphrase, where his dad was just like, "Get over here." It's just like,
yeah,
that's stupid.
Yeah. Some of it screams cheap web series. So they had. Yeah, you know, Raiden's the guy that I'm the guy, and I'm in like a mental institution. Yeah, 12 monkeys them. You know, I get it, like, you know, but God.
I also had a question about this movie. I'm like, where did Scorpion learn English?
Yeah, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero for the Lin Kuei. I was like, see, okay. So he was saying all this other stuff, and then he gonna say after he killed him for the Lin Kuei. Oh, like, man, and then at the end of the day, they still had what you call it, like subtitles at the bottom. I'm like, so why they had to go subtitles? I know he said that.
Yeah, like he spoke to Sub-Zero in English, but then he spoke to Cole in Japanese, and I'm like, Cole can't speak Japanese. He hasn't shown the ability to speak Japanese.
Oh, what up, Izzy? What's going on, bro? Appreciate you for coming and checking us out, dude. And yes, everyone speaks English, and everyone speaks English in hell, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, did he learn English in hell?
Yeah, yeah.
They got
Figured it
Rosetta
out.
Stone down there. Like,
He figured it out after a while. Like he saw they
I
were
mean, he
doing.
had enough time to learn English. I would hope that he would know more than just like a couple of sentences. But
Yeah, they
but
not.
yeah, I was just like, wait, why does he know English?
They
He
had
couldn't even
like,
speak Chinese when he was, and he knew Beyond. He knew Beyond when, like, at the very beginning of the movie. So he's either worked with him, has fought him. He knows enough about him that he should be able to speak a little bit of Chinese since he deals with him enough to know him by name.
truth. The way they went about it, though, it was kind of like Scorpion just needed help because he wiped out everybody, and like he needed help from his homie at the end of the day. I'm like, come on, Scorpion, you ain't better than that, baby. Come on, man, you can get up. Like, like you're better than this, man. You're like the mascot. So like,
And
I
like that's
really,
another thing. People were like, "Oh, Sub Zero is too powerful." I'm like, he killed Scorpion, one
yeah,
of the best in his clan, the
yeah.
best in this clan.
They don't understand, man. They don't understand what they're. A lot of people don't understand what they're watching.
Right.
And at the same time, the way this was handled, like you said, the editing choices, the way it all kind of looked with on camera and stuff. Like I said, it can kind of look a little hokey here and there. Like this is HD cameras and the way they got the green screen going on here and there. It's a little bit this and that. I can see what people say it can look a little cheap looking here and there because I
Yeah.
watched the original. I'm like, yeah, that's film. That looks like for feature film, motion picture feature.
Yeah.
Stuff. So it's a thing where most people are looking and comparing it straight from there. So I can see that, and also people have been inundated with like TV shows, and we're watching Snowfall and all these good looking shows all day. Where it's just like, oh man, like,
People are used to Marvel, and whenever something isn't Marvel, it's automatically like shit half the time.
true.
And like that's one thing that's bugging the crap out of me is like half the people that have something negative to say, I know that they're getting their knowledge from being like, well, I can follow, a Marvel storyline and a Marvel plot, so I know movies. And like that's not to bash Marvel. I love Marvel. I think what they're doing is really good. Um, I of course have my, issues with it, but overall, Marvel is, it wouldn't be like the biggest movie, you know,
They're
thing
doing
right
something right.
now.
They're doing something right, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
True.
because of how accessible they are, people are playing, movies on easy mode and then, they get given something else and they're like, it's just not the same. And it's like, you don't know anything about movies. Shut up. You some dude.
I mean, literally, this also when I watched this movie, it's a video game movie, and
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat to me, like the original '95, has always been top tier. It's always been my number one video game movie. You can say whatever you want to about anything else. Like, I don't consider Ready Player One or anything like a video. No, that's like got other stuff.
Ready Player One wasn't even.
Yeah, it's a video game. Yeah, a video game you could pop in and you did it. You play stuff like Assassin's Creed was a video game, terrible. Blood Rain was a video game, was terrible. Movie like Dead or Alive. Same thing.
Like for me, it's like Mortal Kombat, the first Resident Evil movie, the first
I
Silent
have
Hill
that on
movie.
Blu-ray. I actually have that on Blu-ray. Yes, you're right. You're right. First Resident Evil.
Like the first Resident Evil and the first Silent Hill movies were very good.
I always forget about Silent Hill. We did watch that. That dude pushed away the car. He pushed away the car. Anyway, don't even remind me.
And like more recently, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I gotta see Sonic 2. I'm still not like I can't.
I'm not gonna say it's a perfect movie, but it was an enjoyable movie. I would not put Sonic the Hedgehog with like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the Tekken movies, Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li.
It's in the better realm of it all, but it suffers for that Transformer-ish kind of We're
Yeah.
hanging out with the humans. What are the
Yeah.
humans doing? Don't you want to learn more about Cyclops?
Random nobody.
Cyclops and Secret something? You know, I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to go get some Chaos Emeralds and collect rings. You know,
But
and
this
go
black
through
girl
the loop.
gave Sonic his iconic shoes.
That's beside the point. Anyway, back to Mortal Kombat. They just they are showing a lot more faithfulness to it, and this new one is definitely in that video game movie realm versus, like I say, a movie realm. This the first one was treated more like a standard movie, while this is trying to tell that video game story within the movie, you know, and they're like not as, like you said, as well versed as like a Marvel to do it just yet. Maybe they're gonna get better. You know, maybe they're gonna take the points of what's going on here, and we're gonna see it because everybody's like, "Oh, there's no Johnny Cage." I'm like, I'm not gonna waste this movie. If this movie was just, starting up foundation wise, the building block one, I want Johnny Cage in the second one, where it's two. Where, it's like Mortal Kombat 2
in place.
I was comparing this movie to Mortal Kombat, the actual video game, the first one, the video game when you in the yard. I'm like, everyone talks about that one, but as a kid who was young, I'm like, okay, this one's cool, but I always want to play 2. I always want to play 2. I always want to play 3 or something like that. But 2 is where it's like, even where the harmony is, where the classic what is. So and I think the second one can be just like that, where it's like, okay, first one was it's good. We see where it's going. It's a little shaky. The second one, though,
yeah. And like I see that the building blocks are there for a really good movie for the next one. And I hope they stick the landing. I hope they don't annihilation this thing. I hope they don't annihilate it. And like that's something else. I saw some people that were like, they made a movie about a tournament without putting a tournament in it. And I'm like,
yeah, I didn't know.
Not all the games are based off of tournaments.
And it's all about it's talking about this whole thing leading up to it. The second one's gonna have a tournament in it. One second, I'm looking into. Oh yeah, is this the first time we've actually seen Jax's arms get ripped off in a movie? Oh no, ripped off? Yeah, like In
the one before, he just felt like he needed a umph, so he had arms.
His gains were in his arms. His gains weren't where it needed to be.
His gains weren't there, so he was like, "I don't want to do steroids because I heard that shrinks your pee-pee. So I'm just gonna put some metal arms on my stuff, man.
I'm gonna get some metal arms. Go get some metal arms. Work to Hannibal Buress. Anyway,
and then they fell apart, and then apparently he didn't need them.
Yeah, exactly.
He was stronger without metal arms.
I mean, I always thought as a kid that it's like because he worked out with the metal on his arm.
Oh, he was going the Goku route.
Like he was strong. He was stronger because of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do that. He had more gusto. He can fight now. He, whatever. Exactly.
He's been training with weighted clothing arms.
Yeah, this new Jax. I was like, like I said, he's one of my characters. Like I wanted to see because he's a big strong man one. Like I want to see him, go in and do some cool stuff. Like it was pretty cool. Yeah, you want to see people in the more I'm gonna take out Sub-Zero. Yeah, like it just didn't work out for him a lot of the time. And he had this little goofy arms most of the time.
He had his little baby arms. As soon as he got up, it was just like. Kano was just like, do they make those in men's sizes? I was like, oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only person that see them little baby arms he got.
He was looking at him like, oh, terrible. Melina. Almost not. How could I forget? Melina was vicious. I liked her character design. I loved
her character design. I think they picked a great person. I wish that she didn't die. I wish she was going to be in another one.
Yeah, that could have been cool.
And like she still might, because Shang Tsung.
Yeah, he said death isn't like he's only but a portal away or something like that. And it was like that's revenue.
And you see him go ahead and get Goro and Sub-Zero. So Sub-Zero is definitely coming back as new Cybot. We don't know what he's going to do with the rest of his dead. But yeah, it's still Shang Tsung, so he can bring anybody back, and that's a recurring thing in Mortal Kombat anyway.
What up, Rob? We got all the MK you need, baby. Turving it up.
So yeah, I definitely hope that they bring back Melina, and they introduce Kitana and Melina and Jade and everything.
Exactly. We gotta have the ladies fight, and like just the way her whole thing just went over and she got mad.
I love that scene. Love that scene. I wish that they did more with her. Like that was the thing that I didn't like. She wasn't in it enough. But yeah, I thought the voice, the way that they changed her voice was good. Her design was great. I like that, it was a combination of her traditional mask plus her without the mask in X, I believe, where like she had like teeth up to here and like just like her mouth was here. So in this one, she had the blood up to here and her mouth was right here. So instead of putting the mask on, they just had the blood there.
Right.
And so it was like a combination of her with the mask and without the mask in X. And then when she got, angry, she just tore everything and it just opened all the way up. And it was so sick. And I was like, and she did all the teleporting and jumping around. She didn't do the roll, but that's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, I really loved her in the movie too. Yeah, again, wish she was in it more.
She was vicious. Honestly, I was like, that's Melina. I was like, I was kind of like, I couldn't say nothing else. Like, yeah.
Like if you take Cole out of it, every other character, except for maybe Raiden, and as much as people like Liu Kang, I'm like, Liu Kang has always been kind of a boring character in all the games.
He's a monk.
He's a monk. He's a yet another Bruce Lee wannabe character, monk, traditional, this is my first time picking up the game. This is your Ryu. This is your, this is your Mortal Kombat Ryu, basically. He's your mid tier.
People love him. I mean, people say the same thing about Ryu.
Yeah. Not to dash those characters.
My boy Ryu. I'm like, your boy Ryu? You mean the loner who walks around, get in the fight? No, I can't do it. I gotta train and fight. I gotta fight and train. Yeah, like, man.
You rooting for a violent hobo.
I'm about some new Nikes, baby. I don't wear shoes. I just walk around and fight. All right, I'll get up with you, dog.
The character.
I get up with you, Ryu. Get up next time, baby.
Ryu is bum fights the character. That's all he does.
Oh man.
But but I felt like Liu Kang was Liu Kang in this. I wasn't just in like they just ruined the no, he's Liu Kang. I don't know what y'all was expecting. Y'all just mad that he's not the main character.
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
Yeah, and that's fine to be upset about that. It's just, people are like, this Liu Kang is terrible. It's like, no, he isn't. He's Liu Kang. I mean, Liu Kang has always been just a bored character.
People don't like whatever didn't come from beforehand. Like you said, I said this thing suffers from as I said before earlier here on the stream, where I'm like, this suffers from new age movie-itis in terms of just like, oh man, like this is from a universe. Oh, this guy.
What I grew up with is always better.
Yeah, he's got a family, got all this kind of stuff like that. Yeah, that's just another element of it where it's just like, oh, people wanted Liu Kang to be it because, and I feel like this is that Spider-Man Homecoming feeling of where it's like, we're not gonna do the same thing we did beforehand. We're gonna do a different direction of Mortal Kombat. We could have easily have done Liu Kang be the main focus guy, but they knew that have been too
easy. Done it so many times. It's like, why keep doing that?
Man, people are so unoriginal. And that's why sometimes you don't do it.
And it's like, there's one thing that this Liu Kang did better. His dragon. His dragon was way better than the other Liu Kang's dragon.
Well, like, you're talking about Annihilation Dragon?
Yeah.
Crazy Wild 90s CGI.
Doing a hurricane kick. Oh, my God.
Baby. I was like, this is bad. This is the worst thing ever. Puff the Magic Dragon. Just wackadoo terribleness. Oh man, everybody, appreciate y'all checking us out with Mortal Kombat. Drop a like on the chat, man. Subscribe to G channel here. I'm gonna add a link to Good Guys and Greg later on, but definitely look them up right there. It's just a spell. Yep. But yeah, no man, that's one of the things where I'm excited to see what's next. They have a very good foundation here, but this is not by any means I'm gonna be watching this 20-something years from now and get like good feels like all the time. Maybe it's gonna be for some kid. I'm not gonna say someone liking it because it's not a bad movie. It's not like a thing where I'm just gonna be like,
any stretch of the imagination. People that are out there saying that this is the worst Mortal Kombat movie need to go sit down somewhere.
No, it's not. No, it's not bad at all. It's just it's got its flaws, and I think certain things like the Goro fight. Yeah, the Goro fight. That CGI looked weird to me there. Like it reminded me of the Hulk. Remember when Hulk was fighting those dogs at the farm?
Where they're like hiding, CG faults through the darkness.
Yeah. That kind of stuff was like when I'm looking at it, I'm over here like, Goro don't look good.
Certain scenes he does look fine, but yeah, the scene is so dark, it's like they're hiding their CG.
Right. Yeah,
because you never see him in the daylight, not once.
Yeah, shadowed over here doing this and that because he's a huge piece of work to do. So I can understand, they definitely were rushed.
I feel like they definitely worked on Reptile before they got to Goro because Reptile is actually he's still in shadow, but there's fire there and reflections and stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like they worked on Reptile when they still had money. And then got to Goro at the end.
Yeah, Goro
along with Cole's Power Ranger armor.
And that's what I'm saying. With those two at the end on a character we barely like doing something that we barely care about, because we don't care about his family, we don't care about nothing. You got this weird gold armor. There's like you said, this gold Ranger armor that just come up over him, and you're like, all right, baby, let's see how this goes. And you see the plastic kind of folding and certain shots. That was one of my favorite parts.
There's a scene at the end when they're leaving the fight with Sub-Zero and they're walking and the ground's supposed to have snow or ice on it. And you can tell it's just like a white cloth because it wrinkles as they're walking on it. And I was like, oh, y'all couldn't cover that up just a little bit better.
I mean,
because at first I was like, okay, well maybe it's just because it's the ground. I'm like, well no, most martial arts mats tend to be taught.
But yeah, Daryl, Daryl, what's up, bro? He said, I swear I was like, where's the rest of the fucking armor? It's like, yeah, it's like he went on his RPG and just put on the chest armor and that's all he.
He turned off the helmet because he put an hour and a half into making his character face.
Right.
So he's like, I don't care the body. Okay, I want the armor, but I always want to see my face because I made my character the way I want it. It looked like me. So I'm gonna turn on the helmet.
That Soul Calibur character, boy. He's just like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with him. I like the gold chest. I just don't know how to put it all together though. I'm trying to work it out. But this was him though. This is my guy. That's exactly his name. It's gonna be Cole. Cole. You can name him anything.
Generic name ever.
Name him anything else. Name's gonna be Cole. I was like, I love those situations. Like, okay, all right, yeah.
That is a player. That is an insert player character name, Cole.
Right, this man, I hope you get. Yeah, only get hit in the chest and the arms, but I only protect my chest and the arms, baby.
Just don't hit me in the face. Too pretty.
Man, don't hit me in the balls. I'm
step on my toe. I'm all fucked up.
Just put your chest at people. Say it with your chest has a whole new meaning. Yeah, but basically, yeah.
I saw some people that were mad that Cole fought Goro in a shed.
I said that's the whole. It's the setting too. It was displeasing to the eye. It's it's one of those things you don't understand, but your brain did kind of it's like you don't want to see this here. You want to see it in Outworld. You want to see Cole fight Goro in Outworld. You don't
Yeah,
want to see
like
him
all
in
you
no
have to do is
shed.
just grab him and teleport him there.
Yeah, you don't want to see him in no shed.
I don't know. Just that sentence by itself is just great. It's like, you don't want to see him in no shit.
But that's the point. That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. You don't want to see him. You don't want to fight Goro. Is all right. All right. All right. On the level select screen on the combat. If you had,
I'm thinking the
Shao
shade.
Kahn's
I'm
like
thinking the
temple,
shade.
Shao Kahn's temple, the link, the Cyber Link Way, laboratories, cold shed. Like,
I'm thinking cold shit from
you
now
gonna
on.
pick cold shed? All right, baby, I got you. That's what you gonna pick. I see. That's exactly what you're telling me here. So I can understand that.
Yeah. But like some people are like, oh, Goro, it should have taken more to fight Goro. I'm like, Goro's always been like I saw somebody put it on in Facebook. They're like, Goro has always been a jobber character. They're like, he won nine championships. It's like, yeah, off screen. He's to make the main character look better.
Yeah.
He's that character that's like he's not supposed to be like I mean, look how he went out fighting Johnny Cage. He got punched in the balls and knocked off a roof. Get out of here.
I mean, yeah. It was
He's a jobber character.
He was plot armor.
Yeah.
Y'all going off the
and Johnny beat him flawlessly. He punched him in the balls, ran up some stairs, kicked him off.
He punched him, kicked him a little bit. He did a little, he did a little something. I watched it today. He did a little mix up with him.
He hit him with a 3-hit combo.
One, two. And then those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. Just like fire. It's like, yeah. That bread up, Goro. Okay, he's stunning on him before he killed him off a mountain. That's my Johnny. So we're gonna see where it goes here, but ultimately this is just everyone's overreacting. I feel everybody's going way too crazy. Everybody's like, oh man, that's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, honestly, I look at him like, what are y'all watching that's so good? Because y'all was going crazy over Godzilla vs. Kong like a month ago, and it's good, but it ain't like good.
Right.
They ain't the greatest thing.
Like I'm seeing people that's like, oh, this movie is boring. I'm like, okay, there's a fight scene at the very beginning. There's a fight scene like 5 minutes after that. Yeah. There's a fight scene 5 minutes after that. It's like they keep you invested. There's fights quite regularly in this movie. Now, it's not like a movie where it's like there's a fight at the beginning and then like 20, 30, 40 minutes later, there's another fight.
I mean, I will say parts of this movie in the second watch. I mean, I did check my phone a couple times on it because it was like, all right, cool. I know this part. I know this. So like I said, on a rewatch, it wasn't as, like I said, if you watch that 95 one, I think you're gonna understand what I mean by where you're like, no, it's not all nostalgia. It's not all that. It's literally how the movie was made in a swing of a flow of a movie. I feel
like the first movie is that the first movie has a lot less. We have to check, the boxes.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. This is a movie that was made, it was still made to make money, obviously. But there was probably a lot less, people in suits saying, well, you got to make sure this, demographic is met and this is done. And you got to set up for the next movie and you got to do this and this. Like, it felt like, even though they were setting up for a sequel at the end, it felt less of like we're setting up for a sequel and more of the story continues kind of thing. Where like this isn't the end, the story will always continue kind of thing, as opposed to, okay, now here's some teasers for the next, because we got to do cinematic universe thing that movies do now, and this movie felt like it had a lot of that in there.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying, and because of that, adding in all this other useless crap makes it even that more jarring. Where you're like, okay, cool, but you know, we gotta learn more about this. I would like to learn more about Cabal than
Yeah.
Cole's family. You know, I would like learn more about Sindel or whoever else. You know, just whoever else they putting in this movie.
Yeah.
It really was just like y'all are throwing all this in here, and y'all are really like, oh man, don't y'all have enough characters?
Yeah.
Like it's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. They didn't need to make a new character
But we
for
have to
this.
ground the people. There's enough human characters in the fray of like Mortal Kombat. You can
Yeah.
ground people
The
with.
franchise has like 70 something characters in it.
One of them got a ground pound. Like one of them's like for real. You over here all the way.
It's like you had 3 characters coming from our world to go into, Nether realm, and you couldn't pick one of those 3 characters to make the main character.
Nah, they couldn't see it. They couldn't figure it out.
We
And this
needed
Netflix
Family Man Cole.
in this Netflix episodic, culture of like, what's the next? We gotta like sit here and like have a titular. They can't tell a story. I think they couldn't tell an effective story without that. Because with all these other characters, they could die. We have to have one titular character that could be like, okay, his own experience. So whatever happens to them, we can just excuse that kind of thing. Versus,
and like honestly,
Liu Kang, you do this to Wu, even though they gave Liu Kang a molestation, story.
and like honestly, if they improve on Cole, like maybe kill off his family or have him divorce him or something.
Right.
Like have his wife divorce him and take the kid because he wants to keep fighting them, and she does the whole I can't sleep at night knowing you're out there fighting monsters and gods and blah blah blah. Get rid of the family. I understand that, that was like his whole drive in this one. But, you can keep him as the main character because it does give you, someone to hold on to, and the other characters can be more, up there. They can be more up on the chopping block because, if Liu Kang was the main character, then you couldn't kill off Liu Kang. Like in the, and now because he's not, they can kill off Liu Kang. They can bring back zombie Liu Kang, like in the games. And like have him or Revenant Liu Kang.
Yep.
And Shang Tsung, takes his soul, kills Liu Kang, and at the end of Mortal Kombat, 2, the movie, you see Shang Tsung, raising up Liu Kang as, either zombie Liu Kang or Revenant Liu Kang.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they're setting it up to do some really cool stuff with it. They just gotta do some stuff with Cole. Like it wouldn't be the first time they took a character that people didn't like and made him cool. It can be done.
They gotta work with him. They gotta work with your boy.
Yeah. They gotta ride him. They gotta ride him.
This gold pecs and chest.
His Aquaman suit.
Nah, that's not working out, man. This gilded tallywhacker.
His Aquaman suit. I like the meme that's going around like, oh man, I can't wait for the sequel when they take on the DC universe.
Oh god.
Mortal Kombat versus DC.
I just thought about it. I was like, you get out of here.
Watching Cole get beat up by Ben Affleck Batman. That would be sick. I want to see that now. I want to see Ben Affleck Batman do that warehouse scene. Nicole just boo boo goo goo.
That's you. That's go ahead. You gonna pay. That's gonna be just for you. I don't need to see that right now. That it's gonna be just like that video game. Terrible.
I don't think they should do that, but I just think it would be funny to see Ben Affleck Batman beat up Cole.
Bruh. Let's see who. So, I think the fatality for Kung Lao was great, and that was probably the best thing in the whole movie in terms of gory Mortal Kombat goodness, like you're gonna get in terms of like just that. Like I don't know anything better.
I actually like Jax's fatality a little bit better. Just because like how the head popped and everything.
Oh, that looked good. That was really gangster. I mean, Sub-Zero ripping Jack's arms off, freezing them off was good. Was look good.
Yeah.
Like
that brutality. I guess that would be considered a brutality, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about when people over here. That's a lot of things. Where, oh yeah, I didn't like how it was. But I'm like, we got some of the most gruesome Mortal Kombat scenes in this movie, like that we've ever gotten. That it's not done to the effect of just so much, but
yeah,
it's enough. It was pretty good. Like I liked it. But,
yeah.
Yeah, people. I don't know where everybody's getting off to, because it's just like, yeah, it's a video game movie. It's a Mortal Kombat movie. It's the first one, and you start seeing over time, like I said, they're going on with something else. I don't need anything else to
Just a good starting off point.
Exactly.
It's a good starting off point. Yeah. And like, I don't know what people were going into this movie thinking they were going to see. If they were thinking they were going to see like Citizen Kane Mortal Kombat or what.
My whole thing is like, I'm like, y'all was expecting No Country for Old Men type, dialogue and mythos. I was like, dude, okay, look, the lore is really good, and honestly, I feel that NetherRealm, like the campaign story modes for NetherRealm games, are probably some of the best Mortal Kombat movies you can find around.
It's one of the reasons that I still buy Mortal Kombat games, even though I don't necessarily like the combat all that much. I play it mostly for the story.
The story is good.
And like the story, the violence, and Melina. But like other than that, even me, someone who does play Mortal Kombat for the story, I know that the story is not this, untouchable, unimpeachable, flawlessly made, just pinnacle of storytelling. The story has been rebooted multiple times, people. Stop making it sound like, oh my God, this movie. My God, they just ruined the plot. It's like they've rebooted the universe multiple times at this point.
I mean, literally, that's kind of like the whole bag of it. I mean, because we played the games over the years so much, we've known that a lot. That's why it wasn't a big deal. Like, I mean, it's always the 9th before the 10th tournament.
Yeah.
If I sit here and do this and lost all this time, and they got to cheat through the whole thing, and they got to figure out, oh man, if it don't go right, we got to reboot it. This ain't gonna work, baby. We got to reboot.
It's like they're like, oh, we want Liu Kang to be the main character, but we still wanted to follow the main storyline. It's like, so you guys know he becomes a bad guy, right? It's like, sure, at this point he is a good guy again, and he's like a god. Even though I didn't play the DLC, I didn't play the DLC yet. Huh? Yeah, Aftermath. I haven't played Aftermath yet.
I just started Aftermath. Like literally, I guess a couple months ago when I was last playing Mortal Kombat, I was getting whooped up by Kronika. And because this last time I watched the movie again, I got jazzed up. I was like, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat, that. And I just went and started playing the game. I'm like, oh man, I left off on the campaign. I was getting whooped up. But then I ended up beating her afterwards. I'm like, yeah. And it's just like, so I got started on Aftermath now.
Yeah.
I was literally, I had a whole Mortal Kombat, like, had to sit down for a second, like, oh man. She was cheap. Yeah.
She cheap and she can't get hit with combos. She falls out of combos, and like you can't use your X-ray ability on her or anything. So yeah.
Don't remind me, bro. Don't remind me. It was always like, she's not selling none of this. She's not. Oh, I'm over here hitting with this and that, and like wow, I'm over here playing as like the crazy playing as Liu Kang and stuff like that, and she's flipping behind me, so I'm trying to do the kick, and if you do it the other way, you're doing the wow, and I'm over here just being mad. Just over here. So after she went out, I was like, yeah, that's you're over with.
Yeah. But yeah, people are like, oh, it's got to follow the story. It's like, okay, first off, you got to go through Liu Kang being, the golden child, through the boring golden child, and then he dies, and he comes back as a zombie, and then he's not a zombie, and then he dies again. Well, then he starts getting mad at Raiden because he feels like Raiden ain't doing his job properly, and then he like kills a bunch. Then he like gets pissed off and he turns against Raiden. Raiden kills him, and then he turns to Revenant, and then he works for he's a Revenant king, and he's evil, and then he's a god. It's like,
Do you
dude,
really want to go through all
stop
that?
making it seem like this is like the pinnacle of storytelling and just enjoy the ride. This is a Mortal Kombat movie. Just enjoy it. Have a
Everybody has
drink if you have to, have a drink, get you a pizza.
everybody had nice, champagne and Chianti.
They got dressed up in suits and stuff to go see it. I'm like, no, man.
Go see Mortal Kombat, honey.
It's like you realize you're getting super critical over a movie called Mortal Kombat with a K.
Fatality. Exactly. I mean, they even said it like they spelled it
Yeah.
wrong.
It's like you getting so up your butt about a movie called Mortal Kombat with a K. Get over yourself.
Pretty good one. Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, I love it. I love the series, but I'm not gonna sit here and take it so seriously that I'm thinking like it's got to be this, in a word. Not to say it can't be done seriously in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like the way they did that first 7 minutes, like I said, like a lot of things, were taken to a certain type of respect. But I also know to suspend disbelief at so many spots. You have an invisible reptile person over here. Got this woman with like crazy teeth over here. You got a guy with metal arms.
We got it. It's a game where it's like, it's a game where people die and there's serious stakes and stuff. But it's also a game where you can turn someone into a baby. Or drop a video game machine on their head. Or a woman a woman will yell at you and your ghost will go running away from your body. Or Cabal takes his mask off and he's so ugly that your soul runs away. He's like, come on. This is still a goofy ass game.
I don't see how you can't write any of that into Oscar worthy material, Greg. I just don't see it. Okay. But I think, since we're running up on an hour and 30, we're about to wrap this up.
Okay. Let's wrap it up, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
I remember you said that you preferred the Miz for Johnny Cage for the upcoming movie.
Well, yeah, in terms of like
a lot of people are saying Ryan Reynolds. Who do you think would do it better? Miz or Ryan Reynolds?
See, here's the thing about that. I love Ryan Reynolds, and I feel like he just has Deadpool down so pat. It's just so much double duty in that sense. And at the same time, I feel like, yeah, he could do it functionally. But the world that they established here, man, I it's one of the things where I feel like he just would fit more into this. Like I don't know. I know it sounds crazy or something like that, but he works with the hokiness of that they established already. Ryan Reynolds already, he's a little bit older now. He's doing his thing with Deadpool. I just feel like it's just he would be splitting his energies between two things, and it just wouldn't work out as well as you think. It'd be almost like he's doing, Deadpool as,
I mean, that's kind of what people would hire him for. That's what they did with Pikachu. They were like, we want Deadpool Pikachu. So they would want Deadpool Johnny Cage. I don't know enough about The Miz. Like, I haven't, watched wrestling in, a long time, really.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Ryan Reynolds, I do feel like it would be hard to watch him and not just see Deadpool.
Exactly.
And I feel like Johnny Cage, like maybe if this was before Deadpool and this was, Waiting, Ryan Reynolds, like from the movie Waiting, or
that was 06, 07. Yeah, a while ago. I'm over here like that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, Ryan Reynolds is older now. I'm like, some of this is, Miz is a little bit younger than him, but like it's still like he fits that bill and that build as well. Like the way he's
And I
stocky a
feel
little
like
bit.
they're like with the other actors, it would be weird to have such a huge, actor with everyone else.
Yeah, he fits the like I say, he fits the tone of the everybody. Like I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
Like a lot of people, like all the other actors, like there are recognizable actors, but there isn't like, a Ryan Reynolds level of star power
caliber guy.
in there.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I wouldn't say that. That's why
And
I
it would
feel
just
like
be weird to like have like,
he would tilt the budget.
yeah. And they already was scrambling with some of that budget before. But,
Yeah. So I was like if Miz can get in there, it'll be great exposure for him. He'll put his all into it. Like I said, he'll make it his own. He'll be
I hope
face.
it's acting. I mean,
That's
it's
what
still
I'm
Mortal
saying.
Kombat, but like some wrestlers can, make that transition into like
Well,
major acting, some can't.
he
So hopefully
already is
his
in
acting
movies.
and
He's already in movies.
okay.
But like, I'm like, I say it because I feel like this will be his big role. Like this will be in the
His
league
breakout role.
filmography. This was his big role, and that way he will take it and be like, okay, I'm gonna be Johnny Cage, and like it'll be a thing where like it's gonna be tight. And I'm over here watch my boy Miz go in there because I see what he's done with WWE over the past years. I've been watching the guy since Real World back in like 2002, Greg. You know, like literally he was on Real World MTV and like on there he was, oh yeah, you smell what the Miz is cooking. And like it was just a thing where like you just love WWE, but then later on you see in like on high school or something that that's a dude from Real World. He made it. Like he actually made it. And you just see it like over time he becomes a snarky jerk. Like he is essentially, to give you a good idea of Miz, he's every antagonist to the main character protagonist. That's like, he's almost a Malfoy.
He's
He's
your
almost
Flash Thompson,
he's the bully, with the blonde hair, with the with freshman
captain of the football team.
really, really freshman kind of stuff like that. And like, and you can see how he can morph that into a Johnny Cage kind of, because he's done other stuff too, like that, where he's, like just as quick-witted, just as funny. And, honestly, it's been one of the better spots of Raw since this show has been crap. Anyway, it'll be something like he could definitely sink his teeth. So I'll probably send you a couple clips just to see if I can find anything that like, all right, that in here, you see Johnny Cage in it, because Ryan Reynolds Ryan Reynolds is a no. Like I love him, but he would have to be younger. It would be like, and he would not to have Deadpool on his notch, and because Pikachu was just like, it's Pikachu, like that's just out of nowhere kind of stuff like that. This is Johnny Cage. It was like, gonna be a definitive particular thing where it's like you're gonna have both. Like, so give somebody else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all I want to ask. Let's go ahead and.
No problem. But I appreciate you coming by, man.
This was a lot of fun.
Japan and stuff like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for coming on in there.
Thanks, everybody.
It's always a pleasure. It's always good. G Channel signing out.
See you guys. Good God and Greg. Later.
Peace.